Hi, this is Dr. Campbell. Today I wanted to talk about what is the best way to improve race relations. Now, in a recent article, a professor of social work claims that many Gallup polls that are used as a barometer on how the public is responding to race relations is ineffective because of their questioning techniques. The Gallup poll questioning techniques are not designed to solve problems, but only to collect information as a tool to promote the importance of Gallup polling. The best way to improve race relations is to utilize a process that brings people on one accord for a solution. According to the article, which is titled "Worried About Race Relations, You're Answering the Wrong Question," Boston University School of Social Work professor Phillipe Copeland ascertains that the Gallup poll questions are not provocative enough to elicit appropriate responses. Copeland suggested using questions such as 1. Do you believe people are treated differently because they're black? 2. Do you believe that's still happening? 3. What do you believe is responsible for changing that? Copeland's suggestions for more provocative questioning will only cause people to exhibit characteristics associated with organizational malaise. Organizational malaise begins with defensive mechanisms. Defensive mechanisms are the unwritten rules an individual learns and utilizes to effectively deal with circumstances that are upsetting, embarrassing, or threatening. The next phase is skilled incompetence. Skilled incompetence is the outcome of our internalized defensive mechanisms. When the defensive behaviors we've learned are transformed into a learned behavior, that behavior becomes a skill that is necessary in order to deal with issues that are embarrassing, threatening, or upsetting. A skill that is learned from the regular application of a defense mechanism has a high degree of incompetence embedded within it because we are unaware of how this skill will impact our future. Skilled incompetence transforms into a defensive routine. Defensive routines is when skilled incompetence is automatically exhibited at all times. The behavior is now a defensive routine. Defensive routines lead to the term we call fancy footwork, which results in individuals trying to deny the behavioral inconsistencies they exhibit, or else they place blame on other people. Fancy footwork leads to organizational malaise, in which people will seek to find fault within the organization or other people rather than accepting responsibility for their actions and correct their behavior accordingly. In an economic system such as capitalism, the real fight is about scarce resources and not really race relations. The primary scarce resource is money. This is why the income gap between blacks and whites is so prominent. For example, a recent Pew Research study indicates that the financial gap between blacks and whites has hit its greatest disparity since 1989. In 2010, the median wealth of white households was 8 times higher than blacks. Presently, that figure has increased to 17 times its highest rate in 2 decades. Then this is according to the Pew Research Center analysis of data from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances. In addition, Federal Reserve data shows that the economic recovery of white versus blacks from 2010 to 2013 was a 2.4% increase for whites and a 33.7% decrease for blacks. It will remain that way for years to come because the battle is for scarce resources. Now, herein lies the big problem. How do we get people to transform their thinking regarding race relations so that all races benefit. When race relations improve, there will be a transfer of wealth, and many white, black, European, Asian, Middle Eastern, and African people are protecting themselves from being victimized by the efforts to improve race relations in America. In order to best transform a system at its most effective point, which is called its inflection point, we must begin with our education system. As many researchers have indicated, children enter the education system with racial biases. However, the education system supports the biases of the majority, which continues to fuel problems associated with adverse race relations. This is Dr. Campbell. You can read about this article as well as additional information on our website at www.positiveracialrelationships.com. Of course, if you want to talk about it, you can call me on my direct line, 856-566-3267. Have a great day, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Be sure to check out positiveracialrelationships.com. Check it. Look, pull your pencils out, class is in session. Let's focus on loving our neighbor without a question. Visit positiveracialrelationships.com. Leading classrooms together like a marriage bond. Kick racism out, that ain't what life's about. For more information,